Bismillah, alhamdulillah. Bismillah,
Okay.
alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. My brothers and sisters who have joined and who will join, inshallah, it's a great pleasure for me that through an international program online, I met my very good brother and source of inspiration, Dr. Abdul Hye, who has been a senior scientist in NASA, and he has been a dedicated dawah leader in Houston, USA, and also in many places that he was invited to, Indonesia, Japan. He personally visited Indonesian University. He's also a Juma leader, which I didn't mention before. So, alhamdulillah, I mean, for a person who is from NASA and also a Muslim, and then to be a dawah leader, these things don't combine in one person so easily. But it's a blessing of Allah that he's like that, and we will learn much from him. And his presentations are particularly attractive. So, inshallah, I will ask Dr. Abdul Hye to make his presentation, and we wait to learn much from him today, inshallah.
Okay, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Can you see my page, Quran and Science page?
Yes,
everybody can see.
very clear. Very clear.
Okay. So this is a very important subject, especially as you can see the technological progress. It makes it more appealing. So let me see why it is not moving. Okay, before I start, I'd like to share with you in 1509, Galileo, as you know, he invented telescope. And when he discovered telescope, he first saw in the sky that the earth is going around the sun. And he published his work, but the church group immediately shut him off. He said, no, you are wrong. It is against their belief. And they forced him to retire. And actually, eventually he died in the jail, because it is against the teaching of the church. The church believes that the sun is going around the earth. But when he saw with his own eyes through his telescope, it is something unacceptable to the church community. Ever since, actually, the Christian churches never compare science with their religion. They think science is different, no link with their religion, which is exactly opposite to what Allah is saying in the Quran. That is the topic we are presenting today. It happened after almost 1,000 years later, after Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam went to the Mi'raj to meet Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So where is Allah? Allah says in the Quran, Kaf, verse number 16, وَنَحْنُ أَقْرَبُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ حَبْلِ الْوَرِيدِ. We are nearer to him than his jugular vein. We have jugular vein, as you can see. Allah says, I am even closer than your own vein. It is so close, Allah is watching us, our activities. Just to give you some perspective, as you can see, this is the earth we live in on the left top corner. It is a part of our solar system. It is very small as compared to the solar system. And if you take our solar system, place it in the Milky Way, it is like a red dot, very small, very tiny dot, our solar system. We cannot even find it. In fact, scientists say that our Milky Way is the smallest Milky Way in the vast universe. There are some Milky Ways which are so big, if you take our Milky Way and place it on the big Milky Way, you cannot even find our Milky Way. You can see the vastness of the space Allah mentioned in the Quran is becoming smaller and smaller. And then we can see scientists estimate there is a universe which contains everything. They could not figure out the boundary, but they said that if we can find everything in the horizon, in the boundary, that should be the universe. But Allah says in the Quran, there are 7 skies, one into the other, as you can see. The first sky is so small, and if you place it in the second sky, it will be like a dot, and so on. All 7 of them. At the end of the 7 sky, there is a station of Angel Jibril alayhi salam. He stayed there. When Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam traveled with Angel Jibril at that point said that I cannot travel any further. You have to go alone. And the Prophet traveled alone and went to see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Arsh of Allah, which is narrated in Al-Baqarah. And inside the Arsh, there is the Kursi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Make this picture to make it easy to understand, because people have no concept about Allah's powers and authority, about the shape of the universe. So this gives some perspective about how they are situated, how they are located, how they are compared, and so on. In the same way, as you can see, we have a couple of places on the earth we are living, and then we'll go to the grave. There are 3 questions. In the day of judgment, 5 questions. And there is a bridge. People, each human being will have to cross. Those who will be able to cross, they will go to the heaven. And those who will fail, actually they will go to the hell. This is the hell, as you can see. And those who will go to the heaven, they have a lot of good opportunities, good things happen. And there is a connection between heaven and hell. Some people will be punished in the hell for their bad deeds. Eventually, after punishment, those who have faith, they will be transferred into the heaven. But those who have no faith, they will be in the hell forever. You can see the descriptions of the Prophet and many narrations. So those who will go to the heaven, they have opportunity. They can be neighbor of the Prophet. They can meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is a narration mentioned in by Imam Muslim that how people will be able to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will assure the people of the heaven that they can live in the heaven forever. So this is a background summary and locations of the places where each human being will face the consequences after they die and leave the earth. For the book of science, it has over 6,000 verses, more than 1,000 deal with science, because it is the final revelation from Allah. And there are many, many references. This gentleman, Dr. Maurice Bucaille, you have heard his name. He's a French medical doctor. He used to live in Saudi Arabia. He wrote this book, the Bible, the Quran, and Science. In that book, he has compared all the scientific facts in the Quran and the Bible. And he found many mistakes in the Bible. But he could not find a single error in the Quran. He tried, he could not find. This gentleman, Professor Keith Moore, you have heard his name. He is a professor at the University of Toronto. His research area is embryology, how a child grows in the womb of his mother, how their cells multiply, and so on. And he said, I found everything from Quran. How about that? The same Quran we are reading. In fact, he used to live in Saudi Arabia in 70s during King Faisal's time, and he collected a lot of information from the Quran. He wrote a book, it's called Developing Human. This book is a textbook in medical school in many parts of the world. In that book, he has concluded that whatever I found in the Quran, which was mentioned in the Quran 1,400 years back, in the middle of a desert, to a person who could not read, who could not write, could not have come from any other source except the Creator. It is not possible for someone sitting in a desert to write those scientific information which we discover today. It has to be from Allah. This gentleman, Professor Tejasen, is at Chiang University, Thailand, Bangkok. His research area is pain receptors, how pain happens. As you know, we feel pain in our body. We have what you call pain receptors all over the body. on the skin. As you can see, this is our skin. It has hairs all over the body, covering the body, but also it has pain receptors, which senses pain. That's how we feel pain. Allah mentioned in Surah Nisa, verse number 56, about the taste of punishment, Yazukul Azab, how the people of the hellfire will be punished again and again by replacing their skin. See, we have on the earth, we have one skin, but over there on the life hereafter, the skin will be replaced again and again, and with more sensitive pain receptors. So the pain is more severe. That description in the Quran, so much impressed by the scientific accuracy, that one verse of the Quran was sufficient for this scientist to accept the truth and become Muslim. He is still there in Bangkok. But that verse we have been reading for the last 1500 years, we could not figure out what Allah is saying. But he was a scientist, he knows exactly what Allah is saying about the pain, and that verse was sufficient for him to accept the truth and become Muslim. You can see in the Quran, there are many, many verses about science, about space, about so many areas, actually most areas. If you name any scientific areas, and there are references in the Quran. So we're going to share some of it. The actual presentation is over more than 3 hours, but we'll try to wrap it up within an hour. But what I'm trying to show you, that as a Muslim, we should know about the beauty of the Quran. Allah mentioned about the scientific aspects, which are actually forbidden in the Bible and in the Christian community. So we have a strong point to give dawah to the non-Muslim, especially Christians, that while they are in the dark reading their Bible, there is a tremendous opportunity to learn Allah from the Quran. This is about astronomy. Allah mentioned about it, as you can see, Al-Zumar verse number 5, that he makes day into night, night into days. They overlap each other, kawara, particular word. That means we don't have suddenly sunrise or sunset. It happens gradually. Sun gradually sets and sun rises in the morning. That is called kawara. It is happening continuously. This is another verse, An-Naziyat, verse number 30. Allah mentioned about the shape of the earth. As you can see, earth is not circular, it is flattened on both poles. Geospherical, flattened both poles. That's what Allah is describing in this verse. The particular word is called dahaha. That means something whose shape is like an ostrich, geospherical, flattened on both poles. This is our solar system. As you can see, we have planets. Each of them is floating and rotating around the sun. This is such a beautiful thing for the mankind. It took 1,000 years for the Galileo to see and discover, which is still not being accepted in the church community. So we can see the Earth, Mars. NASA has a mission to Mars. Within the next 15 to 20 years, you will see there are a lot of opportunities over there to land humans, to live there. There are people who wants to go there. There are a lot of similarities between Mars and Earth. We have Venus, which is a very small planet close to the sun. It's very hot. It is actually moving in the opposite direction of the Earth. And as you know, before the day of judgment, sun will rise from the west. It is already happening in Venus. It moves in the opposite direction of the Earth. And there are many other planets. Some are very big, like Jupiter. It has about over 80 moons. It is very large, hot, and very windy. Average speed of the air is over 1,500 miles per hour, as you can see. If that air comes, if you have 500 even, the city will be completely flat wherever it comes. Most of the storm is like Miami has a weather forecasting. Maximum is category 5. That means up to 150 miles per hour. This is about 1,500 miles per hour. And it is very hot, 1,500 degrees Fahrenheit. As you can see, Allah can make anything He wants, any shape, any type, any kind of features, extreme features. He can create those kind of monstrous pieces, planets, which are revolving around the Earth, around the sun. This is Saturn. Saturn also has a lot of rings. Uranus and Neptune has very cold, very far. So every planet is different. Allah created it differently, and they are all following their track. It takes about 3 hours for the sunlight to cross our solar system. Just to give an idea how far, how big is the size of our solar system. Just to give an idea how long is 1 billion light years. As you know, we talk about, NASA talks about billions of light years. Light years is very common term used everywhere because the distance is very, very far. So you're trying to estimate the size to define. As you know, if you go around the Earth, you travel 25,000 miles. The maximum distance around the Earth is 25,000 miles. But if the light goes around the Earth, it will travel 8 times in 1 second, like that. It already traveled 8 times. Because light speed is very fast. It travels in 1 second, 186,000 miles. This is for a minute, hour, day, month, and this is the year. That is called 1 light year. Or in other words, if the light keeps on traveling continuously with the speed of light, it will travel so many miles. That is considered 1 light year. Similarly, we have million light years. This is billion light years. NASA finds many things, and they say it is so many billion light years away from the Earth. So you can imagine how vast is the universe Allah created. Recently discovered black hole, as you know, Einstein about 100 years back, he predicted there is black hole. By his mathematical equation, he was able to predict there are big, big pieces besides our solar system, besides our Earth, which are much bigger, much heavier in remote places, which is balancing the universe. A scientist over the years, they are doing research. They were not able to find, but they were able to model differently. Eventually, in the year 2019, in April, 200 scientists around the Earth, top-notch scientists, they use 8 telescopes in 8 locations around the Earth, in strategic locations, from where they can actually have a good picture. Good example, one of them is in Argentina, top mountain, 3,000 feet high, where the weather is very calm, very, clear. So you can see many things which you cannot see from many other places. But anyway, just to make the point, 200 scientists using 8 telescopes, they were able to see the pieces of the black hole, and they combined those data and came up with this picture. It's like a beautiful donut, as you can see. This is the black hole, first time. It is not the actual picture, actual black hole. It is the picture of the black hole. Actual black hole you cannot see because it is, light goes into the black hole. So you cannot see a black hole. Just to give a comparison, this is the Earth, 8,000 miles in diameter, and this is the Sun, 860,000 miles, as you can see. And the size of this black hole is estimated to be 25 billion miles. Or in other words, if you collect 3 million Earths together, that is the size of this black hole. And how far it is? It is about 30 million trillion miles away from the Earth. This is just to give you an idea how vast is the universe Allah created. This is one black hole. Sitting in very far, we are able to get the picture of that black hole. It is so far, just one. There may be millions and billions of black holes, and there may be black holes which are much, much bigger than this one. Just to give an idea about, to understand Allah's universe and have a better concept about his powers and authority. He created everything just by saying kun fayakun. Everything was created perfectly in their places just by saying kun fayakun. So you can imagine Allah's powers and authority. People should know about it, his powers and authority, how vast, how universe he created, and so on. This is about physics. There are references. This gentleman, a Greek scientist, he first proposed atomic theory. It has electrons, neutrons, protons, as you can see. Modern science can even split an atom. And there are references in the Quran, as you can see, Saba verse number 3, Allah mentioned that He knows everything, what is even inside an atom. Nothing is unknown to Him. We think we became smart by splitting an atom. But Allah says, I have knowledge about everything, even what is inside an atom. Nothing is unknown. This is about geography. This gentleman first predicted water cycle. Water around the world continuously moves, as you can see from the rivers and ocean. It rises in the form of steam and forms cloud, cools down, and come down on the earth as rain. So this is the water cycle. It is happening continuously. And there are references about it in the Quran. This is one place, Al-Zumar, verse number 21, Allah mentioned about the rain, that how we benefit from this rain by producing different crops of different colors. And in fact, there are over 60 to 70 places Allah mentioned about this rain. It is so amazing. Scientists discover many things from this rain Allah described in different places in the Quran. We read Quran, we found the rain. We sometimes think that why Allah is mentioning about the rain again and again. Scientists say, yes, there is a big reason, because every place Allah mentioned about the rain, scientists discover new things about the purpose of the rain, how it transforms, how it benefits mankind. In fact, recently in Alabama, in the USA, we had a storm, and big pieces of what you call ice, what you call, came down from the sky. Some are even a couple of inches. So anything is possible. Allah mentioned about it. And there are many discoveries from this rain. This is about geology. We have mountains everywhere around the earth and even any other planets. Allah mentioned about it in Surah Naba, verse number 6 and 7. Particular word is called autar, pegs. Peg means it holds the earth's surface in their places, like a wedge. The earth forms a wedge on the surface of the earth, so our earth doesn't shake freely. And there are many places about mountains. This gentleman, Dr. Frank Press, he mentioned he was the scientific advisor to the President Carter. He wrote a book on earth, and he mentioned about the importance of the mountains, how it stabilized the earth crust. In fact, Allah mentioned about it in the Quran. We have placed on the earth firm mountains. Firm, this particular word firm is very important. It analyzes many things about how it is holding the earth's surface firmly. Anbiya, verse number 30. In fact, now scientists say wherever we have the mountains, as you can see, if you look over the top of the earth's surface, wherever we have mountains, scientists say it goes deeper into the earth's surface, as deep as 9 times deeper. Like good example, we have Mount Everest. It is 29,000 feet. So it is rooted on the ground, on the earth's surface, several times, and holding the earth's surface. So everywhere there is a mountain, there is a reason to hold the earth's surface in their places. This is about oceanography. Allah mentioned about it, Ar-Rahman, verse number 19 and 20, that there are 2 types of seas. One is salt water, one is sweet water. And they form barriers. Both are water, but they will not join together. They form partitions. Barzakh, Allah mentioned about it in the Quran. As you can see, they maintain their barriers for hundreds of miles without joining together. There is a scientist, Dr. William Hye. He is the marine scientist and dean, professor of geological sciences at the University of Colorado, Denver, and he took all the scientific verses about salt water and sweet water. Many places Allah mentioned about it actually. He took all those verses and he did research. He published many technical papers about why they do not mix, at what condition they will mix, and so on. He is the authority of these Quranic verses, that why in the world those waters or oceans, they do not mix. They maintain their barriers hundreds of miles. Like just to give an example, this is Mediterranean Sea, as you can see, and we have Atlantic Sea on the other side. It is called Strait of Gibraltar between Spain and Morocco. So this water in the Mediterranean Sea is salt more. It has more salt than the Atlantic Ocean. Atlantic Ocean is much bigger than the Mediterranean Sea. So in the water process from one side to the other side, they do not mix. They run of hundreds of miles without joining together. This is one of the picture, as you can see, just to give an idea. As you can see on the top, the water is saltish as compared to the bottom. You can see it can go for hundreds of miles. The scientists say that William Hay, that at what condition they will mix. He had some theory that if there's salt density difference between these two waters of the two seas becomes very, very small, very small, like fourth order of decimal, 0.0001, very small, then they will break their barriers and join together. Until then, they will maintain their barriers. This is our biology. Everything is made with water, anything living, as you can see. That is one of the mission when NASA sends any probe to any planet, one of the mission is find water. If there is water anywhere, there is a possibility of living things. It doesn't have to be human. Like good example, Mars has water, traces of water, not rivers and oceans like we have on the Earth. Moon doesn't have water. So there is a possibility. Every living human, 80%, like if you look at our body, 80% is water. That's why water is vital for our survival. Sometimes you feel sick, especially kids, you drink a lot of water and it will help. Allah mentioned about it in many places. Al-Anbiya verse number 30, from water every living thing. And many other places about the beauty of life. We have life because it requires water to keep us alive. This is our botany. Allah made everything in pairs. This is Taha verse number 53. Various kinds of vegetation we have. As you can see, different colors. Ar-Rad verse number 3. Al-Zawzatin Ithnain. This particular word is very, very complex. It means two pairs, two kinds, two salts, black and white, sweet and sour, small and big. All combinations are required to explain this word. What Allah is saying here, that He made everything in pairs. And so modern science, we have genetic engineering, we can cross multiply and make a new product and a better product. Good example, Florida makes in the USA, makes all the oranges. 50, 60 years back, if the weather is bad, if there is a hailstorm, they lose their crops. All the oranges became rotten. Now modern day, we have genetic engineering orange, which can grow even in storm, even in snow. It will not be damaged or frostbite. So there are many things possible. Like I'm from Bangladesh. I used to live bread when I was little in high school. We could not afford rice. Rice was 5 times more expensive than bread. So we used to eat bread occasionally, rice under a special occasion. But now we have a lot of production of rice around the world, India, Southeast Asia, Indonesia, what do you call China, all these countries, Japan, they eat rice. The rice is abundantly produced. Bangladesh, they used to have 1 crop. Now they make even 3 crops. So the production of rice is gone up. So the price is more competitive, comparable as compared to the bread. So what I'm saying is genetic engineering has a lot of contribution for the benefit of mankind. Like in Texas, we have a Texas A&M University, College Station. They produced a onion, which is very big in size, more than 2 pounds, 3 pounds. Right now, there is a war going on between India and Bangladesh. Good example. there is a huge shortage of onions in Bangladesh, India, Pakistan. So there is a huge demand from one side to the other side, and they are controlling the market. But we have onions right in Houston, Texas, which are much bigger in size and different colors even. So all these things are possible. Different products, as you can see, genetically produced to make it a better one. And even right now, there is a company, American company, is called Monsanto. They produce a rice which are much bigger in size, much bigger, and it can grow in desert. See, rice doesn't grow in desert. You have to have a lot of water. The tree is planted, a lot of water, then you have rice. So this Monsanto has developed a rice which are bigger in size. It can grow in desert. It doesn't require any insecticide. Actually, insecticide is free. That means insecticide like fungus or bugs or anything cannot sit on those trees. It's proof. And the other thing is, it has a lot of benefits for the mankind. You can go anywhere, so there will be no production, shortage or anything like that. And India, one of the largest consumer of rice, they want this product. They want this rice, so they can grow also. So Monsanto is demanding high price. So they are fighting in the United Nations. Just to make a point that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given a lot of things in products. It is a matter of time before we use our intelligence, knowledge to make a better one. And it can benefit mankind around the world. This is about zoology. There are bees, as you can see. It is very hard working. They continuously work. This gentleman, French scientist, he did research on the behavior and communication of bees, how the bees communicate with each other. As you can see, 100,000 bees, they continuously work and share information and how they communicate with each other. This is a very important subject. And he got Nobel Prize. And he used many Quranic verses. We read the same Quran. We read for reward and sawab and barakat. But this scientist was able to analyze those behavior and communication of bees, and he got Nobel Prize. And bees have a lot of good qualities. Many allergic, like if you're allergic, any medicine you take, it has to do with the honey. Antiseptic properties it has built in. All these things are there to benefit mankind. And they have workers, they have male, female, and queen, how they work together. Just to give an idea, this is bee classification. Every colony has one queen. You cannot have two queens, just one queen. What is our job? To lay 2,000 eggs per day, 2,000 eggs. And there are workers, mostly all female. Their number is 10 to 50,000. They have a simple job. They work in building the house, nest, make holes for the eggs to put in, bring food from outside, and they clean everything. And there are male, only few of them, 100 to 500. They have a small job, mate and die. Once they mate, they have to die. That is the system Allah made them. So if you see any bee colony, you see on the ground, most of the dead bees are male bees. This is about the ants. Ants, they work very hard. They continuously run, as you can see. They never stops. And now scientists say that closest to human are the ants. There are many similarities between human and ants. Now scientists even say that ants don't sleep. They continuously run. We have to sleep 5 hours, 6 hours, but ants don't. They continuously work to benefit mankind. And there are many, many narrations in the Quran. This is about Sulaiman alayhi salam when he was traveling in Gaza area with his army. He heard the voice of the ants. They are alerting each other that the army of Sulaiman is coming. They are going to destroy your houses. So get away from the path. Allah liked that warning so much, he put in the Quran. And Namal, verse number 17 and 18. This is about embryology. There are very broad-based subject. There are many things scientists discovered in this field I'd like to share with you some of them. This is the DNA. As you know, mostly this is an acid liquid in our system. This is the human egg. Every human body roughly has 100 trillion cells organized in chromosomes, 23 pairs of chromosomes. Al-Imran Allah mentioned about it, that the structure of the chromosome where we have the DNA, you can find 23 pairs packed in the nucleus of a human cell. As you can see, there are a lot of discoveries in this field. And good example, what is DNA? People ask this question, what is DNA? We frequently hear about it. It is a data bank. When you are born, when you are in the mother's womb, you are growing, Allah put all the genetic information about you. What will be the color of your hair? What will be the color of your eye? How height you will be? How much sickness you will have? Like a blueprint. Before you build anything, you have a blueprint. You draw these things, and then actual thing happens. Same way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a blueprint for you in your mother's womb with all these descriptions. Everything is defined. Nothing is undefined. And they grow from that description. This is the DNA structure. And if you try to write down everything Allah mentioned about the DNA, scientists say it will require 450 pages to write down everything Allah mentioned about the DNA. So as you can see, there is a very vast field where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took time to define each of us about everything. No two DNA can ever be same. Modern day criminal investigation can be traced using the DNA. These days, for the police, for FBI, it is very easy. If there is a crime scene, if you find a hair, if you find a piece of nail, you can find that person's identity. It is very simple. They can identify that person. Who is the person who did crime here? All these things. In fact, now scientists can go backward. Many people were convicted. They were in the jail for 25 years. Now they do the DNA test. They found out that person was innocent. He was wrongfully convicted in the court. So they were made free. So those things are possible. DNA is a very powerful tool to find about the identity of a person. In fact, now they are using this modern science, using the DNA for many good things. Perinatal diagnostics, good example. A child is in the womb of his mother or her mother, is growing. If there is any defect, good example, cancer, good example. This is a very good example. Cancer, if the child, his father, mother, if they had cancer, the child will have cancer. His grandparents had cancer, and his parents, especially mother has cancer, the child will have cancer. Now it is possible to remove those cancerous cells while the child is in the mother's womb, and the child will be born cancer-free. This is the new technology being used. Stem cell research, many parts of in the 50, 60 years back, you can see that heart transplant. When South African scientist, what you call Mr. Bernard, made the heart transplant first time, 1978. After that, I know human around the world are doing heart transplant. Now they found out it is difficult to find heart. Now we have a medical science, stem cell research. You can make a duplicate of your part. Like good example, most of the heart is okay except the valves, which becomes weak as you grow older, and it cannot hold the pressure of the blood. So it is possible to make your heart valve outside through stem cell research and implant it. You don't have to replace the whole heart, just replace the valve. So you'll have the same pump with a new valve, and it keep on going. So those are possible. A good example, woman, if a mother has breast cancer, 50% of the time, her children, especially her daughter, will have breast cancer. It is very, very dominant everywhere, worldwide. It cannot avoid it. It is there. So modern science is doing some research on stem cell research to remove those cancerous cells, as I mentioned, and make a child cancer-free. It is possible. It is still in the trial stage, but the progress of science is possible because Allah put the information into the DNA. It is a matter of time to isolate those bad cells. Even there are genetic diseases which has a cure, and scientists believe. Good example, diabetic is dominant everywhere, many parts of the world. It is possible to have what you call this kind of diseases free by removing those defective cells, and a human has a new life with cancer free. Anyway, just to give you more idea, there are 200 body cells. As you can see, these are the body cells. Each body cell is different. Heart cell, kidney cell, liver cell, muscle cell, brain cell, bone cell, all cell has different functions. They grow using the information from the DNA. There is no confusion. Each cell is built and multiplied. Each knows where to find the function, where to find the information and grow. This is completely flawless. Billions of information from the DNA travels to different cells and forms. As you can see, it is unthinkable for human being to even know that how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us from a little sperm with so many kinds of cells. They are all growing, collecting information from the DNA and multiply and forms our body. Each part of your body is fully customized. There is no way of a human body's one part will match another part of another person. Similarly, there is continuous development, body parts. As you can see, this is heart development. It takes about 40 days to build your heart. That's how it first time it starts pumping and the mother realizes that someone is moving. Similarly, the face development. It takes 60 days to make your beautiful face, as you can see. There's so many parts, your ears, your eyes, your lips, your tongue, your tooth gum, even your eyebrow, left eyebrow, right eyebrow, how many of them, how many hairs of each of them, all are defined into the DNA. And then that's how you are built and developed. This is eye development. And this is liquid development. Blood circulatory development. There's all liquid, eventually they're full of lines where the blood flows. Scientists estimate that if you take all the lines where the blood is flowing from your heart to every part of your body, it will take 24,000 miles. In other words, your heart is pumping blood through 24,000 miles from your head to the toe to make you alive, to keep you alive. It's so beautiful and it's so complex. If anywhere there is a clogging in your, especially in your brain, anywhere, there is a slowdown of your blood flow, you will be in the ICU. You will faint, you will fall. Allah is keeping you alive. This is a miracle. And people do not realize to keep a person alive is a miracle. The dead is a common thing to happen. Anything can stop and make a person dead. But Allah keep you alive through all these complex process and systems forever until death. So we try to appreciate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's powers and authorities, that how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us alive for so long. And you can go around the earth, still you cannot end the lines where blood flows. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us so complex process and so many things we are benefiting. So we have to see what can I do to benefit from Allah for our short stay on this earth. He created everything just by saying kun fayakun. That's what Allah mentioned about the science to understand Him. Allah mentioned about many things about the science. We just covered few of them, few areas. And we just continuously see those signs, read those signs. There is a reason for that, to understand His powers and authorities, that He's so powerful. He takes care of me so much. Everything is functioning properly. Your kidney is working, liver is working, eyes are working, ears are working, heart is working. And, so many things we take it for granted. He has 99 names to understand him better, understand his attributes. He controls my life and death. Very important. As I mentioned, that we are still alive. He controls it. We cannot go outside his boundary. We don't even know his boundary. Where it is mercy every moment. If you want to see Allah's mercy, go to the hospital and see how people are suffering. Or little things. Something is not working, function. He's in the ICU, running by machine. So all these things are happening. Allah is taking care of us. So what should we do? The lesson from this presentation is we take the challenge, understand the Quran. It is not just for reading and counting rewards. It is more than that. We need to read Quran, invest our time to understand Allah's powers and authority. He created everything just by saying kun fayakun. So the goal should be obey Allah and follow his messenger, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Shaitan is open enemy. He's working 24/7. He doesn't even sleep. He is working to destroy us in different ways, through knowledge, through many ways. He's trying to destroy us. So we should be determined more than ever to understand Allah's powers and authority, to think about him more and benefit from it. And we should do dawah. As you know, that Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the last prophet, Khatamun Nabeen, and Rahmatul lil Alamin. He is the final messenger, and for the entire universe. Anywhere, any human lives around the earth or in the universe, even. If you can go to other planets, even Mars, they must follow the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is the prophet for people over there also. So it is our mission. It should be our responsibility as a Muslim, as a follower of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to convey his message. This should be our mission, wherever you are. And that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran and even Hadith. It says that highest reward will be given to those people in the life hereafter who are responsible to convey his message. Spreading Islam is the highest paid job. Sometimes we look for high-tech job, highly paid job, right? This is the high-tech job, highly paid job, spreading the message of Islam. Especially these days, we have Zoom now, we are sharing around the world with so many brothers or sisters to share and praise the information about Allah. So we can communicate better, faster, quicker to people around the world, to educate people about Allah. This is very important. This is our job. If you don't know, who is going to do it? And that should be our legacy. When you leave this earth, what you are leaving? A couple of $1 million or some business or something. Leave something which benefit mankind. Like Imam Bukhari, he collected 600,000 hadiths. He compiled Sahih al-Bukhari. That is his legacy. Till the last day of this world, any Muslim will read his hadith, is going to get equal rewards. So we can do the same thing. Make efforts for Islam around the world through Zoom, through writing, through any means. And it should benefit mankind. People will know about the Creator. People know about Islam. People know about, the people do not know. People are in the dark. Christian church do not know. They have no connection with the science, as I mentioned at the beginning. Even people have all kinds of things they worship. The cow, the dog, all kinds of things they worship. They do not know the Creator. They have no idea of how vast Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created the universe. How powerful is He? So this is missing to people. So this is some of the areas we can focus, easy and difficult. Easy means you write something, email to someone, share information. This presentation you can share with anybody to educate people to know about Allah. In the jail, US had a lot of jail people become Muslim in this jail. I supply Quran and Islamic books, and they benefit. Hospital, church, university, newspaper. Every city has a newspaper. You write an article from your masjid about it, about Islam. Every function, like we have Hajj coming, write something about Hajj and share those. Every newspaper, I found out in America, every city by major newspaper has a major newspaper, and every newspaper has a what you call religious section. They published in Saturday. So most of the time, if you flip through the page on Saturday, you'll see religious section is full of advertisement from the different churches, nothing from Muslim communities. So I want every Muslim brother or sister running any masjid to write article about Islam and publish. They will publish free. You will get free publication from those newspaper editions Saturday. I'm sure every country has those kind of religious section, and people will be educated and they will benefit from it. They will know about Islam. And you have so many functions, Ramadan, Hajj, Zakat, you name anything, so many Miraj, so many Islamic calendar full of functions. Those kind of things, you can write a simple paragraph and post it. I learned the hard way. I used to work, and we had a colleague. One day he told me, Abdul, I saw your article. I saw your picture. I said, where? He said, in my local newspaper. What happened? I was making a presentation in one masjid, and they advertised in the local newspaper. So that one reporter came from that newspaper, and he sat down. I didn't know. He was not a Muslim, but he write down everything good about what I presented, and he wrote an article on that newspaper. And that's how my colleague was able to see in his city from that newspaper, 45,000 circulation. So it is so easy to share information and educate. Even Google search people do that. Write those things. These are the powerful tools we should use every day to benefit mankind and share information. Share good information. These days, everything is being customized. Make your information short, small, like small YouTube, small TikTok, whatever you want. Write small articles, small messages, WhatsApp. All these things are powerful tools to educate people about Allah. This is a very useful tool which we didn't have before. We should use this technology as much as possible to benefit mankind. So I supply Quran. We have a Quran. Alhamdulillah, we distribute it to many countries. As you can see, there are 3 Qurans: English, Spanish, and French. In America, in southern part of USA, from like Texas to San Diego, all the southern part of USA has a lot of percentage of population who are Spanish. The Spanish population are fastest growing community in America. In the year 2040, they will be majority. The Spanish people think that their forefathers were Muslim, like Afro-American people think that their forefathers were Muslim from Africa. The same way they want to know actually Spanish language has 45,000 words came from Spain. You can see, I found out the hard way. I have get translation of my English Quran to a Spanish Quran and French Quran. French Quran has a lot of demand in Africa and also Caribbean islands. So I supplied them. I recently sent to Haiti. They're so poor people. The whole country was devastated by earthquake a couple of years back. People are 95% of the population has no income. So we talk with them. We send them by sea Qurans to benefit for their communities. So there are a lot of opportunity around the world. Just wake up, look around. You'll see so many opportunities are waiting through Zoom, through literature, through YouTube, and it will benefit mankind. So if you need Quran, you can see that archive board. You can actually snap it and get the whole Quran into your cell phone, and you can flip through. You can see the whole Quran. It is very educational. We even supply to Pentagon. They like it. They use it for Army, Air Force, Navy around the world. These are the 3 Qurans: English, Spanish, and French. Jazakallah khair. Any questions? I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you very much. What a wonderful and rich and inspiring presentation, and connecting the scientific development rooted in the Quran, and how Quran is sometimes we feel that Quran has been proved right by science. Actually, we should think the other way, that science has been put right when they came to a conclusion. Quran already stated it, and therefore, as the Ustadh described, many of the top scientists used Quran to advance their research, and they found out that when they concluded, Quran already stated it. So this way we can actually have revisiting, and also as he was saying, dawah is central, and sharing the benefits of Quran in this life, not just afterlife, but in this life, is also important. And therefore Quran should be our daily companion. So it is important. Anyone has any comment or question? I think you should also say how much benefit you have received from this wonderful presentation. So feel free to share. If not, I will ask some of my friends here to share. So if anyone who would like to share, please unmute and speak.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Tabish, I was hoping that you would be the first, and the second would be Dr. Nismeh. So Brother Tabish from Fiji, mashallah. Go ahead. He's a very senior community leader in Fiji, and I visited once, and instantly we became good brothers. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, it was a great time when you came to Fiji, brother. And sorry that I've got a very hoarse voice. Something's wrong with my voice box. I don't have a sore throat or anything, but just something wrong with my voice box. My voice is not coming out very clear. So I hope you guys are able to hear me.
Yes, we are hearing you.
We can hear.
First thing I must say, it was an absolute first-class dissertation where, you know, very clearly and very in-depth discussion of science in the Quran. One thing I'd like to add is that the Quran is to describe the Quran as a book doesn't do justice with the Quran. It is more like a software. And we are developing to be able to use that software more and more. Like if you go back a century or 2 centuries, people would not have understood what the Quran is talking about in the field of embryology. It's only when microscopes and scanning devices and everything have been developed that we are able to see that that is exactly how the embryo is formed. And very similarly, when it talks about geology, when it talks about mountains are like pegs. Now, if we go back a few centuries or even actually a few decades, people did not have the knowledge to understand what it actually means. So now we are actually developing ourselves to get more information from the Quran. The information is already there. It's the software is already there. It's just that we are not able to utilize that software. So in years to come, in centuries to come, there'll be a lot more information that we can glean from the Quran.
That's what a lot of scientists say. Actually, a lot of scientists say there are so many things in the Quran yet to be discovered.
Yes,
even that professor, what you call from Toronto University, he says there are many things about embryology in the Quran which he cannot explain. 30 years, 40 years back, if those Quranic verses were mentioned to him, he could not explain. Now he can explain a little better, but yet to be learned. So as science progresses, Quran will be more clear. It will make you a strong believer, a stronger believer.
Jazakumullah khair. Yes, very well said. And Jazakumullah khair for your presentation, brother.
So I like to take all of the, alhamdulillah, you're all great scholars, readers, workers. I like to take the challenge. This is, we should take this challenge and share with everybody. We don't hesitate, anyone. The Bible is completely in the dark, as I mentioned, in the church. They have no idea about, forget about embryology. They have no idea about even sun is going around, the earth is going around the sun. They don't even believe that. They do not even link modern day Christian church do not mix science with Bible. They say, no, they are separate, two different subjects. We thought we do not compare, because the moment they compare, they will be found they are in the false area, because they still believe that the sun is going around the earth. They still believe that.
La hawla wa la quwwata
And,
illa billah.
and this is the whole
Okay.
earth. We
May I
need to
ask
wake
Dr.
up ourselves. Yes.
Thank you. Dr. Muhammad Nisme in Istanbul, he's a Sri Lankan brother and a scholar and
Mashallah.
an Islamic activist like Dr. Abdul Hye. Please, Dr. Nisme, if you'd like to share something, comment and question if you have.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Alaikum
Walaikum
assalam wa rahmatullahi wa
salam.
barakatuh.
Barakatuh.
Really, thank you very much for this presentation, Dr. Abdul Hye. Really, I'm happy to see you here. And thanks, Brother Mamoon, for organizing this wonderful program. Unfortunately, I joined the presentation a little late because I had another program. Somehow I learned some new things, these slides about DNA and other things. I heard about something, but today, first time I learned from right scholar some real facts. Really, I would like to have this presentation, if you don't mind, so that I can go through in detail and I can share with friends
Yeah,
as well, inshallah.
We'll distribute when we receive it. Inshallah, he will send it to us,
Yeah,
to me and Brother
Inshallah.
Yusuf. Inshallah. Jazakallah
Jazakallah
khair.
khairan. Barakallah feekum.
Thank you very much. Dr. Salman from India. Dr. Salman, would you like to share your reflections? And if you can unmute, and also when you speak with your camera on, it helps people to focus more on your comment. Yeah, it's mute again. You have to unmute. Yes. Oh, it's getting muted again and again.
Yeah, okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Alaikum.
So it's a very nice presentation by doctor. And, you know, I'm being as young, I'm 35 years old now. So it given me opportunity to work as a Dai in future, inshallah, because as the doctor scholar said, you know, it is highest rewarding job. So we have to, I have to focus more on this part. Inshallah, in future, I will try to work more on this dawah activities, inshallah.
Okay.
Jazakallahu khairan. Anybody else? Anybody else wants to share? Feel free. We have Sister Fatia and Sister Samira and Sister Farah. Any of you wish to give some comments and or question? Feel free. Anybody?
Assalamu alaikum. Dr. Abdul Hye.
Walaikum salam.
Really greatly appreciate the presentation. And I think just because, as you explained, that maybe just because of the time limit, so you compress them into, you know, just half an hour or 1 hour presentation. And then, and actually each item or each topic, you may need much more time to do it, or you have a lot of material to present. And maybe we would like to invite you to share in the coming months on different topics in a more elaborate way. And especially the dark hole or the black hole, which I think many people will be very interested to learn more from you.
I have a presentation on it. It's educational, especially our youth. They know it from the school, and we parents and elders do not know. It is something doesn't fit.
Yes.
So I have a beautiful presentation, black hole. Inshallah, we can share.
Maybe. In the coming months.
But I have a request. I have a request also at the same time.
Please.
Whatever I present, I want every brother, sister to take it and share with every human being on the earth. How about that?
Inshallah.
He cannot
Inshallah.
hold back. He cannot hold back
No.
and feel good.
We'll
Islam is
circulate.
good.
Yeah.
Inshallah. Circulate to every person you know, any language. Share
Yes.
with them.
You see,
University.
Our brother, our Ustadh is looking for 100% commission when it goes
Yeah.
around and people learn and he gets 100% profit from Allah.
Alhamdulillah. Actually, we will upload the record of this webinar to YouTube. And then we will circulate
No, it is.
it.
I think it's being recorded, right? It is being recorded, so you have a online some link, right,
Yeah.
brother?
Yes,
Brother
yes,
Yusuf
yes.
always records.
Yes.
He's always
Okay.
recording and they are all available.
Inshallah.
Mashallah. So you should
Correct.
use the share link everywhere to benefit to more better knowledgeable about
Inshallah.
Allah and Quran.
And we should also extract from your material to translate into
Uh-huh.
Chinese. And then we will share in
Yes.
Chinese as well.
Sure.
All of
Inshallah.
you, you can translate into your local language like Brother Yusuf is planning. So if you can translate into your local language, if it's not, English is not common language in your country or where you are, then please translate and circulate. Then Dr. Abdul Hye will get 100% commission, but me and Brother Yusuf will also get
There will
something.
not be very deduction for the commission.
None of
Alhamdulillah.
you none of you will get less. Allah's treasure is this is nothing.
Alhamdulillah.
Nothing will be taken from
MashaAllah.
any of you to give it to me. Allah's
Yes.
treasure is very,
Alhamdulillah.
very big.
They will multiply.
Alhamdulillah.
Inshallah. They will
So
multiply.
please, as a Muslim, it is a challenge. If we
Yes.
don't do it, who is going to do it?
Yes.
Right.
That is
Agree.
nobody. You know,
Totally
it is our
agree.
job.
This
It
is
is our job. Please.
really. May Allah
Inshallah.
bless you for all this wonderful preparation.
Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah.
Dr. Abdul Hye is just a reservoir. Sorry. It's just like a reservoir that we have just discovered
Alhamdulillah.
by our Ustadh Mamoon. He has
How
Alhamdulillah,
many,
taken
how
note
many
as well.
scientists,
He didn't
Alhamdulillah, how many
discover as well.
scientists have connected Quran with their profession? Brother
MashaAllah.
Dr. Abdul Hye has done. Let's see
Alhamdulillah.
if there is anybody else. Brother Iqbal Rizal, would you like to share some feelings? Brother Iqbal? Okay, Brother Saifuddin, Muhammad Saifuddin, would you like to share some comments? MashaAllah. Go ahead.
Just a new PhD student, and it's nice to see actually a scholarly person. All of it, you are here. It's nice to get like this kind of presentation from senior scholars. So I got the link just 5 or 10 minutes ago. So I just observed 5 or 10 slides. I couldn't get a whole. So
Okay.
I missed.
You
it,
can
and
actually put your telephone number and email in the chat box. So Brother Yusuf will make sure that you know every time. Because we have Telegram group and your name will be added, your number will be added so that you get the announcement every time. It's usually second Sunday, but this is third Sunday. Occasionally third Sunday, if the second Sunday is too quick, then third Sunday to allow presentation. So inshallah, you will know if you give the details. And Brother Yusuf is very quick on this kind of action.
Yeah,
Okay,
inshallah.
Yeah, I'm also from Hong Kong. Like,
we know.
Student here in Hong Kong.
Very good. So kindly provide your contact so that, and also install the Telegram. So we will include you in the group. So every time you will be updated with the coming activities, as well as we will share the PowerPoint or material that we receive from our speaker, and also the link for the record of the presentation. So, alhamdulillah, so you will stay connected and get in touch with everything that we are doing, inshallah.
Inshallah.
And also
please
please share
their name. Two numbers are already in the chat box.
Yeah, we know. We will follow up after the meeting. And please also share with your friends from our, and then you share,
Inshallah.
so that more people will be informed and benefited from the presentation and from all the dedication of our brothers.
Inshallah. But
Inshallah.
I think this is
So, Brother
also
Saifuddin,
important.
Brother Saifuddin, what is your subject to PhD?
My subject is environmental science, and I am focusing on the ecotoxicology.
MashaAllah. I mean, Dr. Abdul Hye can also give you some knowledge support because he's, as a scientist, it would be good for you to connect with him. And his number is given in the presentation. So
Yeah, I already noted that.
Okay.
In WhatsApp, you can send anytime message, anywhere I respond.
Inshallah.
My cell phone is open 24 hours.
MashaAllah.
If you call me, you'll get response right away. No excuse.
Inshallah.
See, but
Yeah.
brother, Dr. Abdul Hye is 75 and he's still doing street dawah in Houston.
And
MashaAllah.
actually, whatever I am realizing that it is very important for the young researchers, because usually we do research, but we don't connect that with the Quran, with the Islam. We don't do that. So I think this kind of presentation will help us. Yes.
Inshallah. So you can get
Yeah.
the link of what is being recorded. And if you need the file, talk to Brother Yusuf. I'll send it to him. Whole file, you can share with anybody around you. No excuse.
Jazakallah khair.
Nothing to hold back. It is,
Inshallah.
you know,
Inshallah.
it is
Assalamu
our
alaikum.
duty. We have the tools. It is the tool, like good example. I want to share with you one good example. It is the tool already been invented. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. See, I went to Disney World. The first wheel was triangular. You know that? You cannot believe the first wheel was triangular. Then
La
it became,
hawla wa la quwwata illa billah.
then it became square. Then it became circular. So today, if
Subhanallah.
you talk about triangular wheel, nobody will believe you. But it did happen like that. People could not figure out how to move things.
Dr.
And-
Abdul Hye, you can also mention about, you never delete an email, junk mail. And
yeah,
how
that's
to use.
that's another option. That's what I mentioned about the email is a good source because you get hundreds of mails every day, right? Junk mail.
Yes.
Save those junk mail and send him this presentation. Junk mail.
Good.
I had a junk mail from one brother from England. He was sending me all kinds of trash. So I start sending my presentation. And you know what? He said, you wake me up. I said, you do the
Subhanallah.
same thing. Whatever you used to do, use your same energy to share good information about Allah. And you will get the best paradise over there.
MashaAllah.
Subhanallah.
MashaAllah.
So junk mail is a good source. It's a gold mine, actually.
Okay, very good. There is one brother, Muhammad Hussein, who have raised up his hand. Can you speak?
Yes. Yes, go ahead, Brother Muhammad.
Mohammed Hussain, okay.
Yes, brother, please.
Brother Muhammad Hussein, you can speak, but I can't see. Can you
I
speak?
can see him.
You can see him,
Yeah.
and he has raised up his hand. Yeah, we are waiting
But
for
he's
you to you speak, please.
There is some.
Maybe
Yeah,
problem
yeah.
with the device. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
that's the
Yes, I
device.
think
connected to the audio.
the
Yeah.
mic is not.
No, he's not
audio is
talking.
not
Actually,
connected.
But he's connecting the mic.
Right.
I saw the message that he's unmuted. Please unmute your mic.
Oh, he's on the phone, maybe not.
Oh, maybe.
no,
Okay.
that's-
Anyhow,
Okay.
Yeah,
it
he's
may be
talking on the phone.
talking on the phone. Okay. So
Yeah.
other brothers,
Okay.
please.
We have anybody else? I can see quite a number of people given their numbers.
Yeah.
Sister Samira has given number.
Yeah.
Dr. Nisme has given number. So inshallah, they will all be. Iqbal Rizal, you can speak, or Fatiha Fadil. Do you want to speak? There is Allahu Akbar is the title, but surely it's not the name. So would you like to share something? There is also user.
Unknown
feel free.
user.
Unknown user. Okay, so Brother Muhammad Hussain. Okay,
Hello?
go ahead.
Yeah.
Muhammad
Please.
Hussain, do you want to speak? Brother Muhammad Hussain, you can speak.
Yeah,
Say-
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Yeah.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
English.
Please.
Can you speak English?
Okay, some, inshallah.
Okay. Where are you from?
In
He's from Bangladesh.
Bangladesh refugee, Rohingya refugee camp.
Okay, so you are Rohingya.
Yeah. I am Rohingya.
Okay, just say whatever you can say it in English if you can.
No problem. Even Bangla is no problem. I can translate that.
Okay, if you speak Bangla, then Brother Saifuddin will translate.
Yeah.
You speak in Bangla, Brother
English,
Saifuddin
Bangla.
will translate.
Yeah, okay. Inshallah, Bangla very fine.
Go ahead.
বলেন।
In Bangla, Brother Saifuddin is there as translator.
Inshallah, okay. Very thanks for
আপনি
your-
বাংলায় বলতে চাইলে বাংলা বলতে পারেন, সমস্যা নাই, বলেন।
আচ্ছা, ওকে। আলহামদুলিল্লাহ, আমি আপনাদের এই মিটিংটা শুনে দেখে আমার অত্যন্ত ভালো লাগছে। আমিও এই মিটিং এ জয়েন হতে পেরে আমি অনেক খুশি, এবং আপনাদের সবাইকে আমার পক্ষ থেকে ধন্যবাদ, অসীম ধন্যবাদ।
মাশাআল্লাহ। Okay, inshallah.
He is happy to see us here, and he prays to Allah for giving such kind of opportunity to join in this community. Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. So you can put your telephone number so that there's Sister Farah Rizwana from Sweden. She has given her number, and she's also saying she was very happy to attend. So you can all read what she has said. So Brother Muhammad Hussain, if you can put your number there, Brother Yusuf will record it. And inshallah, you will know in future. But of course, you will need Brother Saifuddin also to translate. Brother Dr. Abdul Hye understands Bangla. He was born in Bangladesh. So inshallah, we will have him more. And he's very much available, as he said. Anytime I sent message, it didn't take long for a reply to come. MashaAllah, very efficient, very quick. I say prompt, positive, and professional. Please.
That's how it should be. That's
Yes.
how it should be. As a Muslim, we should be like that. No excuse.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah.
I have a call called No Excuse Dawah. That's what it is.
Okay.
Yes,
have
we will
excuse for
use that
everything.
title, No Excuse.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So for all those brothers and sisters who left your phone number in the chat box, kindly download Telegram and install in your phone so that I can add you and include in the chat group of Telegram. Then every time we will announce all the information through there. Okay? So thank you so much really for participation. Brother Mamoon, kindly close and then we
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you all for
Assalamualaikum.
joining and giving wonderful comments. And it's a pleasure for me to have, and he's always available. Anytime we ask him, he's just ready. See, at 2 o'clock, now it's past 3 a.m. He's still with us and looking fresh, mashallah. May Allah reward him for it. And inshallah, we will have more lesson from him. He will run more classes in future, inshallah. And thank you all. Please mobilize people around you, your friends and relatives and neighbors, colleagues, whoever you can, to enrich themselves by joining. And also, if they have anything to contribute, like Brother Tabish did the first comment with very good comment. So we learned from him too. So this way we can all learn, inshallah. May Allah bless our brother Dr. Abdul Hye and give him hayatun tayyibah, so that we can benefit from him more. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallah khair. Thank you so much for everyone.